proof that conspiracies definitely real. So I'm going to talk about this live. I get the other live going as well. So much talk about conspiracy theories, right? So I'm sitting here in Miami. It's after midnight, and I'm going to a concert. And it turns out their concerts start much later, so the headliner isn't going on until 5 a.m. So I got some hours to kill. So I'm sitting out on my balcony, and it's just beautiful out. The full moon came up over the ocean, and there's some boats out there. Not just only are the sunrises just absolutely stunning here, it's like the sunsets, the boardwalk, being on the ocean, and just had this feeling come over me, and it was just this deep sense of gratitude for everything that the universe has done to conspire to make things come into my life that even passed in the last 1 to 2 years. And maybe there's a business, like we had this business that just changed people's lives. And it was after I sold my music companies and I didn't know what I was going to do next. And I ended up being a student in the Leadership Academy and then a coach. And then my soul sister, like Candace, she's like, let's go create one out in Boston. And like all these things in the way that the universe lines up to move you from here to here to there to there to there. And to actually sit here and be like, oh my gosh, it's just looking down on me. And though it might take me through these hurts, these pains, these ups, these downs, and more importantly, the struggles, to really take a step back and look at it, it is astounding at what the universe conspires to do when you really want something. It's just mind blowing. And though I've felt some deeper losses, and it normally happens after I move and my body isn't stable yet, I just had deep senses of gratitude. It's like, you know what? Thank you, universe, for conspiring on what you did to make these people come into my life. Business going down and bang, the home that I was in Boston that I wasn't able to live in anymore. Like, it is just mind blowing that things that needed to happen, especially at the last minute. Have you ever noticed how much the universe tests you to keep acting and surrendering? And those crazy things only happen at the last minute. Like, I remember that's how I got my home in Boston. I remember how, like, just the business, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go out to Boston for a while and leave my home in San Diego and go to coach there for a little bit. Like, let's just give this a whirl. Like, you literally just drop everything and you don't even really know what it's gonna look like yet. You just know that you're going to create a vision out of nothing. And I told an awesome story to my housemate the other night, and they're like, Brett, how did you meet? And they were talking about like my last partnership. And I went into story of like how we really connected when I ended up inviting them out to Greece on a vacation that I was already on. And the way that we stayed connected, and when we even met when we're out there, the things that needed to happen for us to just to meet. Like, I told the story, I went deep into it for like 20 or 30 minutes, and he looked at me, he's like, Brad, he goes, I've never heard you speak of her like that. Like, I could see you viscerally in such appreciation. I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, dude, the universe sounds like the universe just fucking conspired for you two to come together, right? And I was like, yeah, man, it's so crazy. And it's true with the businesses, it's true with where you might end up, where you stay, the home that I got to have, like the crazy home that I got to have on Palm Ave, the home I got to live in, and who were my landlords in that relationship, the partner that I got to be with, the businesses that I got to. And sometimes the universe just like spits you out, right? I think the universe was just spitting me out of Boston. It was doing everything to be like, you're just, things aren't going to work out for you here. Like, things are not lining up for you anymore. Things are like, you're not really, maybe not in a bad way, but you're not really wanted. You're not really desired here anymore long term. It could be in a partnership or the home or the business or these things. And it just like spits you out. And first you just like kick and scream. But in a way, it's almost like you're birthing again, right? You're literally coming out of a new birth. So you're just coming out crying. You're like, where the fuck am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? But now that I'm sitting here and I just knew how much the universe conspires when you really want something to make it happen. To see what I was writing down in journals a few months ago, even coming out here right before Halloween, just being like, all I know is that this place over there isn't my home. And all I know, I'm going to start traveling the world because I know what this home feels like. I know the experiences that I want. I know the people that I want to see. I know the things that I want to do and these places that I want to go. And I just get to go be in myself that lights me up and just go start traveling the world. And there's something that when you ask for it, it's given. And then you find this balance between this action, like you're always going to go action, you're going to act to it. And what I found is that in this conspiracy, it really doesn't work until you truly almost surrender at the last moment. It's the same way we got this place. Like we were looking for places, we had to exit out of our other one by December 23rd. I'm like, hey, I may not even come back to Miami. I'll probably just go back home and I'm going to end up in New Zealand for a while. And it didn't happen until the last day, and it just throws you struggles. I've noticed that every time I'm looking for a home, maybe it's the partnership, maybe it's the business, like it's like this action plus keeping the faith and learning to be unattached and not having the expectations. But I'm been sitting here like so blessed after those things came through me. I'm just sitting here looking out in the ocean, just thinking, like I am so thankful for the universe conspiring like crazy to let me meet that person, to let me meet those people, to give me that opportunity in entrepreneurship, to be a part of teams that were like making a difference, to be a part of a home that when it sold, it apparently set a record on how expensive it was. And I wasn't even living in the big home. I was just in the garden level at like 700 square feet. To be around landlords that were just like miraculous, to be on homes. And here I am, I feel like doing it again. And it's like so stressful at first. But I can sit here and truly believe, and there's something which happens when you can feel it in every ounce of your cell when you know it. And I'm like, all I want to do is be deeply appreciative, deeply loving, and deeply peaceful, and just like trust in that. And I can act from that. And I just had that unwavering feeling come over me. And I had it before in September when I was in the Upper Peninsula for a couple of weeks. It was just pure bliss, pure good. I think I sat outside in different falls, and even when a storm came in, I sat in a little Viking cabin that might have been like 200 square feet for like 2 days. I'm like, I am peaceful AF. I'm good. I'm appreciative. I'm loving. And that's when the people start reaching out. That's when the things start coming. That's when the opportunities, that's when almost like the connections, almost like the universe has said, hey, like they're kind of ready to talk. I'm sure that most of you, when it comes to a conspiracy theory, that when you speak of the books like The Alchemist and the universe conspires to make it happen when you really want something, that almost everyone has a pile of evidence to say, yep, it really does. It really does. It is crazy how this happened. It's not just the result of your own massive action that does yield the results, but to see and take a step back, like it is crazy the things that had to line up that no one can ever actually be able to track and attribute. And I think that was like one of the coolest things. Like I remember in the conversation coming out of Greece, like with the person that I was with, and even talking to a friend about it too. Like I had to like sit there with pieces of paper. Like it is astonishing what had to happen for these two people even to meet up and to make this happen. And like even after you're meeting, the universe is directing over this place, and they're like, no, you're supposed to go here, but we're going to put you in another part of Italy so you can go have this experience together. It's just like it's almost like the stresses and the struggles, like in the book The Alchemist, they're putting that in front of you so that they can actually put you down a different part of the maze so you can go experience that better half. Though it feels like it sucks in the moment, but you want to be able to watch everything from above. But man, the conspiracy theory and the universe conspiring to make things happen when you really want it, so real, so real. And what I found is the more we can get in tune with it, with our mind and our body and our soul, being healthy and being happy and being clean and clear and belief. And then all of a sudden you pick up that momentum of the decisions. And then all of a sudden it's like that happens, and then that happens, and that happens, and that. And it's almost like conspiracy theory becomes like an avalanche. Like the things that I was able to manifest recently in this week as I was coming out, just from saying, well, I want this, like the free things coming into my thing, whether if it was like the yoga mat, my friend calling to go get me into that over class over there, and I want to go, join like a volleyball league, and next thing you know, it shows up on like my meetup, which I've never done, like meetup, and that pops in, and all of a sudden I meet a person there, and they're going to be an entrepreneur, and then I go to like another class, and I'm like, I want to join the acro, and end up being a girl from like the other yoga class, and the way that people just keep connecting you and giving you those things that you almost need for free, or the connections that you need to even to make things happen. But I think that the things that I had in Boston, the people I was with, the businesses I was had, the love that I got to have, and maybe even just like coming back to Michigan at the perfect timing that nothing was going to work out with Boston, just so I could be with my family and recenter in time at such a perfect time to spend time in Michigan. Like it's totally conspiring in my favor. Like I was almost needed there for like support for myself, definitively, but also to be there in a centralized place and a home place for others, and even land to be acquainted with like my old housemates. Like we got acquainted just because landed back from Sydney, and all of a sudden one of my good college friends, like her mom passed, and she was the only child, and her dad passed before, and it's like boom, all of a sudden we came back together again, and we're so close, and we laughed so hard that we cried, and we got to be there like for her, like the way that the universe conspired to make that happen so we can all be back together again. It's so real. The conspiracy theory is so real. Because when you get into, at least in my experience, when I get into clear visions and I'm actually like feeling good most of the time, and I'm getting into a clear vision, I'm in a clear intention, and I'm learning to clear my soul, and I can actually be there with the other people. Like it's crazy. Like even in like my last partnership, I think the last exclusive partnership I was in was like 9 years ago. And all I knew was like, you know what, God, give me something so good. Give me something so good that I'm good with everything else going away. And it was like, you never know what's going to happen. It's not like they walk in, it's like, here it is. Or the business walks in, it's like, here it is. Or this other opportunity comes in, it's like, here it is. It's all hindsight. It's like, holy shit, that's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I think a lot's going to happen tonight. I mean, I got to rollerblade to volleyball. I mean, the concert doesn't start until 5 o'clock in the morning. Crazy. So I'm going to take a nap before I go to it. But one of my favorite DJs is playing there. I want to experience music in new, beautiful places. I haven't been to this club. I think it's outdoors, but there's going to be some amazing things that haven't come out of it. I'll probably be having fun most of the Sunday, come back to it, and just to be in such a good feeling. I think it's just, I'm really enjoying the process of getting really good at monitoring how good I feel and what is actually creating it or not creating, especially when it comes to my thoughts and the people that I'm around. And really diving deep into like the Joe Dispenza and the Abraham Hicks and all those conspiracies. Like it's crazy, it's real, but you cannot quantify it in the universe. You cannot see the actual evidence it happened. It's not like, yeah, that happened because of this. It's not like I came in and did the work and this happened. It's just like it just shows up. And it's so cool to look out and be in the absolute wow of the universe and actually be in complete gratitude that that conspiracy theory is super fucking real. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm sure you got plenty of examples too of the conspiracy theory. And these are the type of conversations I like to have with sitting around the campfire, the lights with people. And that's what's cool about being with other awesome humans, because they all have these examples. Like all the great humans have these examples. All the humans I'm around are great too, but man, the conspiracy theory is so real. It is crazy just checking off the manifestation list and looking at the back things when I wrote like around my last birthday, which is the Decker birthday, and being like, well, what do I want the next 30 years to be? But what do I definitely want this like fucking year to be regarding like a sabbatical and what to also I want to bring in, like almost like a complete reset with it all. But man, it feels so good when the conspiracy starts to happen. Like I didn't know I wrote down the city, my housemate's name, the things I'm gonna experience. I'm gonna be in New Zealand sometime. I know the festivals that I want to go to around the world. I know the type of love I want. It's like almost like having like this new type of like I can feel like the partnerships blending. Partnerships are just all coming and brewing, whether it's romantic, marriage, business, entrepreneurship, housemate, community, friends, all on that level. And it feels good that it's brought the best ones back too. Conspiracy theory is real, right?